The match hit the paper, and my grandfather's gift went up in flames. "Sentimental garbage," my father announced into the microphone, holding the burning ledger over a crystal bowl. The crowd at the country club erupted in laughter. My fiancé Devin squeezed my hand, whispering we should leave. But I didn't move. I watched Victor Sterling, tech mogul, philanthropist, father of the year, according to Forbes, drop the flaming pages into water, watched the ink run, watched him smile. Then I did something I'd never done before. I walked to the microphone, took it from his hand, and said 5 words that silenced the room. "The wedding is canceled." I left him standing there, shock finally cracking that perfect mask, and walked out of my own reception. 3 days later, I learned what was actually written in that ledger, and I realized my grandfather hadn't given me sentiment, he'd given me a nuclear weapon. My name is Natalie Sterling, and I'm a software engineer at a hospital in Chicago. I'm 28 years old. I've spent most of my life trying to be invisible. Growing up, invisibility was survival. My brother Cameron was the golden child, Yale legacy, future CEO, the heir to Sterling Tech Industries. I was the embarrassment, the daughter who chose coding over country clubs, who wore thrift store clothes to charity galas, who asked uncomfortable questions about where the money actually came from. My father made it clear, I was tolerated, not valued. But my grandfather was different. Isaac Sterling built the company from nothing in the 1970s, a brilliant engineer who turned military contracts into a tech empire. He retired 20 years ago and spent his final years watching Victor run the company into something else. Isaac died 6 months ago. His will left me 2 things: his cabin in Wisconsin and a leather-bound ledger he'd kept for 40 years. Pages of numbers, Victor had sneered when the lawyer presented it. The old man's senile math homework. Trash. But at my wedding, the wedding Victor insisted on, at the club he insisted on, marrying the man he'd chosen for me, he'd decided that trash needed a more theatrical disposal. So he burned it. What he didn't know, I'd already scanned every page. I sat in my apartment, the small 1-bedroom I'd rented against Victor's wishes, staring at the digital copies on my laptop. My friend Zara leaned over my shoulder. She wasn't just my roommate. She was a forensic accountant who specialized in corporate fraud. We'd met in college, bonded over being scholarship kids in rooms full of trust fund babies. "Natalie," Zara whispered, her finger tracing the screen, "do you understand what you're looking at?" "Numbers, dates, account codes." "This is a shadow ledger," Zara said, her voice tight. "Your grandfather documented every illegal transaction Sterling Tech made for 4 decades. I stared at the pages, dates going back to 1981, account numbers, wire transfers, offshore holdings, amounts that my vision blurred. "He was keeping evidence," Zara continued, "defense contracts paid with kickbacks, foreign bribes, tax evasion schemes, money laundering through shell corporations." She turned to me, her dark eyes intense. "Natalie, this ledger proves Sterling Tech is built on systematic fraud, and your father's signature is on half of these transactions." My hands started shaking. "Why would Isaac document this?" I asked. Maybe he was trying to fix it and couldn't. Maybe he was building leverage. Or maybe, Zara paused, maybe he was waiting for someone brave enough to use it. I thought about my childhood, about being 12 years old, on my knees scrubbing floors while Cameron played video games, about Victor's voice, "Girls work, boys lead," about Isaac watching it all, his face tight with something I thought was disappointment. But maybe it was guilt, or shame, or rage at what his son had become. "There's more," Zara said, pulling up a second screen. She'd been running Victor's financials while I was at work. "Your father is bankrupt." "That's impossible. Sterling Tech is worth billions." On paper, billions. In reality, she showed me the spreadsheet. Victor's mansion, 3 months behind on mortgage. His yacht, repossessed last week. His country club membership, suspended for non-payment. The man who'd burned my inheritance as trash was drowning in debt. How long does he have? I asked. Weeks, maybe days. The SEC has been investigating Sterling Tech for 6 months. They're building a case, but they need proof of intent. They need documentation. She looked at me meaningfully. They need that ledger, I said. Yes. I closed the laptop. My phone buzzed. A text from Victor. Stop this childish tantrum. The wedding is back on. You will apologize to Devin and his family by Friday, or you're cut off completely. No trust fund, no family, nothing. I almost laughed. He thought he still had power over me. He thought he still believed his empire was real. Zara, I said, how would you like to help me destroy my father? She smiled. I thought you'd never ask.
We didn't call the SEC immediately, because exposing Victor's fraud would get him arrested, sure, but it wouldn't give me what I needed. I needed him to confess, publicly, in front of everyone who'd watched him burn that ledger and laughed. He's desperate for capital, Zara said, sketching out the plan. He needs a massive cash infusion or the company collapses. If you dangle money in front of him, he'll do anything to get it? Exactly. The trap was elegant. Make Victor think I had access to Isaac's real fortune. Make him think I was too naive to understand what I had. Then watch him incriminate himself trying to take it. I called him the next morning. Dad? I made my voice small, defeated. The voice of the girl who used to scrub his floors. I'm sorry. About the wedding. About everything. Silence on the line. Then, I accept your apology. Devin is willing to give you another chance if you... There's something else, I interrupted. I found something in Grandpa's cabin. Papers. Legal documents. I think he left me money. The silence changed, sharpened. What kind of money? Victor asked, carefully. I don't know. There are account numbers. Foreign banks. The lawyer said it might be worth... I paused, letting the uncertainty bleed through. Maybe $50 million? He heard his breath catch. Isaac's estate had been valued at $3 million, mostly the cabin and some savings. Victor had already calculated that I was getting pennies. The idea that there were hidden accounts worth $50 million? That was a lifeline to a drowning man. Natalie, he said, his voice smooth now, fatherly. Don't talk to anyone else about this. Offshore accounts are complicated. Tax implications, legal liability. If you access that money wrong, you could end up in federal prison. I'm scared, Dad. Don't be. I'll help you. I'll send my attorney to review the documents. We'll set up a family trust, shelter the assets properly. You won't have to worry about anything. Translation? He'd take control of the accounts, drain them, and leave me with nothing. Can we meet? I don't want to do this over the phone. Of course! The Sterling Tech annual shareholder meeting is this Saturday. 50 shareholders, the board of directors, financial press. Come to my office beforehand. We'll sign the trust documents privately, then I'll announce the family's renewed commitment to the company. It'll be perfect. He wanted an audience. He wanted the glory of saving Sterling Tech with a mysterious injection of capital. Okay, I said. Thank you, Dad. That's my girl. I hung up. Zara was grinning. He took the bait. Now we set the hook. Saturday morning, I walked into Sterling Tech headquarters wearing a navy suit that made me look like I belonged in a boardroom. The building was glass and steel, all sharp edges and cold surfaces, just like the man who ran it. Victor's office was on the 40th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Lake Michigan, mahogany desk that cost more than my car, photos of him with senators, tech billionaires, presidents. He was standing when I arrived, looking confident, powerful. He had no idea he was already dead. Natalie,
He actually hugged me. First time in years. "I'm proud of you for coming to me with this. Shows maturity." I handed him the folder. Inside were documents Zara created, fake trust agreements that looked legitimate, but buried in the fine print was a clause. By signing below, the trustee acknowledges sole legal responsibility for all accounts listed in Appendix C. Appendix C was a list of every shell corporation and offshore account from Isaac's ledger. Victor never read it. He never did. He just saw the signature line and the words $50 million total assets. "This is incredible," he muttered, flipping pages. "Dad, you crafty bastard. He must have been skimming for decades." "Is that legal?" I asked, playing naive. "It's complicated, but don't worry. Once it's under the family trust, I can restructure it, make it clean." He pulled out a pen. "You trust me, right?" I thought about being 12, on my knees, scrubbing. "Of course, Dad." He hung his signature with a flourish. 3 signatures, all witnessed, all binding. "The shareholder meeting starts in 10 minutes, he said, handing the folder back. "You should watch from the observation gallery. I'm going to announce something that will change Sterling Tech forever." I smiled. "I can't wait." The meeting room was packed. 50 shareholders in tailored suits, the board of directors at the head table, financial journalists in the back with cameras. I sat in the gallery behind soundproof glass, watching. Victor took the podium, radiating confidence. "Ladies and gentlemen, I have extraordinary news. The Sterling family has secured a $50 million capital infusion from previously undisclosed assets. This investment will position Sterling Tech for unprecedented growth." He was confessing. He was claiming ownership of money that didn't exist, money that was coded references to 40 years of documented fraud. And he was doing it in front of 50 witnesses, on camera, while shareholders applauded. Zara sat beside me, laptop open. "SEC just confirmed receipt of the ledger. FBI white-collar division is pulling warrants now." "How long?" "Agents are already in the building." Victor was still talking, spinning fantasies about expansion into Asian markets, when the conference room doors opened. 6 FBI agents in windbreakers walked down the aisle. "Victor Sterling, you're arrested for securities fraud, wire fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy to defraud the United States." The room erupted. Victor turned, shocked, confused. "There's been a mistake." "No mistake, sir. You signed a confession 10 minutes ago." He looked up at the observation gallery, saw me watching. Our eyes met through the glass, and for the first time in my life, I saw my father afraid. They let me watch the interrogation through a one-way mirror. Victor sat in a gray room, handcuffed, his $5,000 suit rumpled. His lawyer whispered urgently in his ear, but Victor wasn't listening. He was staring at the ledger, the real one, Isaac's original, which the FBI had retrieved from a safety deposit box using the access code I'd provided. "Your daughter provided this," the agent said. "Your father documented every illegal transaction Sterling Tech made since 1981, and you just claimed ownership of the associated accounts, in front of 50 witnesses." "She tricked me," Victor said, his voice hollow. "Your daughter didn't force you to sign anything. You did that yourself." Victor's face went through stages: denial, bargaining, rage. Finally, he looked at the mirror. He couldn't see me, but he knew I was there. "I gave you everything," he said to his reflection, to me. "I gave you a name, a home, opportunities." "I gave you nothing," I said, even though he couldn't hear. "You took everything." The agent slid a paper across the table. "Sterling Tech's board has voted unanimously to terminate your position. Your assets are frozen pending trial. Your co-conspirators are being arrested as we speak." Victor's hands clenched. "Where's Cameron? Where's my son?" "Your son Cameron is currently being detained at O'Hare. He attempted to board a private flight to the Cayman Islands with $2 million in cash, also being charged with conspiracy and attempt to flee." I watched my father crumble. Not physically. He held his posture, kept his face composed.
but something inside him broke. The fantasy that he was untouchable, the belief that money and name would always protect him, gone. I didn't stay for the rest. I walked out of the FBI building into Chicago sunlight. My phone had 47 missed calls. Devin begging me to return his calls. Extended family asking what was happening. Journalists requesting statements. I ignored all of them. Instead, I drove north to Wisconsin, to Isaac's cabin. The place was exactly as I remembered. Small, rustic, overlooking a lake. No pretension, no excess, just solid craftsmanship and peace. I sat on the porch with Isaac's journal, the one I'd found in the cabin alongside the ledger. The entry dated 3 months before he died. Natalie doesn't know it yet, but she's the only one who can fix what I broke. Victor became the monster I enabled. Cameron is his echo. But Natalie? She has integrity. She asks questions. She sees clearly. I'm leaving her the truth. Not because I want revenge on my son, but because some systems need to burn before better ones can grow. Victor built his empire on corruption. Let Natalie build something real from the ashes. If you're reading this, granddaughter, it means you were brave enough. I'm sorry I didn't protect you when you were young, but I'm giving you the tools to protect yourself now. Use them wisely. I closed the journal. Zara texted, SEC approved your testimony deal. You're officially a protected whistleblower. Also, Sterling Tech's clean assets are being restructured. Board wants to talk to you about interim leadership. I stared at the message. They wanted me to run the company, the girl they'd mocked, the daughter Victor dismissed as worthless. I could take it, prove I was better than all of them. Or I called Zara. I'm not interested in running Sterling Tech. What? Natalie, this is your chance. To do what? Inherit my father's kingdom? No. Let them sell it, break it up, whatever. I don't want his empire. Then what do you want? I looked out at the lake, at the trees Isaac had planted decades ago. I want to build something new, something clean. Isaac left me the cabin and enough clean assets from his personal estate, about $3 million. That's enough to start a consulting firm. Ethical tech development, anti-fraud systems. We could help companies build structures that can't be corrupted. Zara was quiet for a moment. Then, we? You're the best forensic accountant I know, and you hate corruption as much as I do. She laughed. When do we start? Monday. Victor's trial lasted 3 months. He was convicted on 14 counts, sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. Cameron took a plea deal, testifying against their co-conspirators. He'll serve 5 years. Sterling Tech was sold to a competitor. The name is gone, the empire dismantled. Devin sent one last email. I should have stood with you. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Some apologies come too late. Today, I'm in Isaac's cabin, my cabin now. I renovated it, turned the basement into a server room. Zara and I run Sterling Integrity Consulting from here. We have 12 clients, all companies trying to clean up their operations after scandals. We're not rich, we're not famous, but we're building something real. Last week, I received a letter from Victor. Prison has broken him in ways the public arrest never did. He wrote pages asking for forgiveness, claiming he'd changed. I burned it without reading past the first paragraph. Not out of cruelty, just closure. He wanted me to stay small, scared, grateful for scraps from his table. Instead, I burned his empire to the ground and walked away. The ledger sits in my safe now, the original, which the FBI returned after the trial concluded. Isaac's final gift. I don't look at it often, but sometimes when I doubt myself, I open it to the last page. Isaac's handwriting, shaky but determined. The only inheritance that matters is integrity. Everything else is ash. I'm Natalie Sterling. I'm 28 years old. I'm not invisible anymore. And I built my empire from truth, not lies. Have you ever discovered that someone you trusted, family, friend, mentor, was living a lie? That the empire they built was hollow? Share your story below.
If this reminded you that the greatest power isn't wealth or status, but the courage to burn down corruption and build something real, subscribe for more stories about whistleblowers, hidden truths, and the people brave enough to expose them. Because sometimes the inheritance that changes everything isn't money, it's evidence.